guys, it's Darcy. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about pitching to agents and editors in person. So like when you go to a writing conference and you sign up for a pitch session, that kind of thing. I've pitched to 2 editors and 3 agents over the last 5-6 years. And so I just kind of want to talk a little bit about my own experience and things that have made it easier for me and things that I've learned. There are a ton of resources for this online. Like if you just Google how to pitch to an agent, agents and editors talk about this all the time. My personal favorite is probably my video on how not to pitch to an agent, which I did for a Storymakers contest in 2016. It was actually 2015, but I won to be able to go to the 2016 conference. So that's on my channel. I'll probably, if I can, I'll remember to put a link in the notes. But if you don't want to go watch that whole video, here are a few things not to do. Don't go in expecting a request necessarily. Don't go in thinking your book is the next Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings. Do not hand over your entire manuscript. Just don't. Even if it's on a flash drive, just don't. Don't even bring it. Don't. Also, if you see an agent in the bathroom, walk on by. Don't tell them about your book. Don't even ask what they represent. The bathroom is not the place for that. You'd think that would be obvious. It's not. I've seen it happen. Don't do it. So what do you do? I will say that in my opinion, a critique session is more valuable to you as an author than a pitch session. If there is a distinction, if you have the chance to get specifically a critique session, I would say do that. Because when you're calling it a critique session, you're both going in, you and the agent or editor are both going in with the expectation of feedback being the focus, as opposed to a request being the focus. Even in a critique session, they can always request your stuff if they like it. Also, just my personal experience, a query critique was more valuable to me than a manuscript critique. Do with that what you will. Now, as for a pitch session, first I will say, go ahead and bring your query, like print it out. Make sure it's addressed to that agent or editor. Go ahead and do like your personalization and have the query and have your bio at the end, like comp titles, all of that jazz. Just have the whole thing on a page in your hands or in like a folder or something. You don't have to hand that over. In fact, don't, especially if it's a pitch session. Don't hand that over. Just have it in your hands for your own reference. And if they ask to see it, then you can hand it to them. In a pitch session, you want to be prepared to discuss your book, just like you would with anybody else. So you can even open with like, hi, I write YA fantasy, and I saw on your website that you like YA fantasy, and so I thought you might be interested to see this. It is and your pitch. From there, usually the agent or editor will start asking questions. If they don't, just keep talking, okay? Keep talking until they start asking questions, but give them little breaks to like ask the questions if they want to. And remember that you're sitting with an industry professional here. So if you have questions for them, ask them. Agents and editors love to give advice. They're really good at giving advice, and I think it makes them feel, useful. In fact, I've heard multiple agents and editors say that. So if you do have questions, whether it's about your query or your pitch or your book or the market or whatever, go ahead and ask. In fact, one of my favorite pitch sessions, which was actually labeled a query critique, I went in and talked to an editor, and I actually started right up front with saying, this book is not finished yet, but I really want to have a solid query so that I kind of know where it's going. And she was like, awesome, let's do that. And lastly, remember that agents and editors are people too. They're going into this and they're probably tired. They've talked to dozens of other people about dozens of other projects. They might be a little burnt out by the time they get to you. They don't know whether you're a beginner or if you've been writing for 2 decades. They have no idea what your skill level is or how much you know about the industry. All they know is what they're given. So just go in, do the best you can, answer questions, ask questions, and get through it. And then at the end of that, you can go and find your critique partners, your writing friends, and hash it out. More than once I've gotten out of a pitch session and gone straight to my critique partners and be like, what does this mean? I'm lucky that I have some very good critique partners who have talked me down from like fear and anxiety and like wanting to cry. I could probably keep talking about this for a while, but I'll go ahead and stop there. If you've ever pitched in person to an agent or editor, let me know how it went. Let me know if you have any tips or tricks that have helped you get through it. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I'll see you next week. Bye.